2:13 a.m., December 3rd, 2024, House No. 27C, Alley 105, Lithuang Keat Street. The living room camera footage begins at 2:10 a.m. The homeowner is Nguyen Hong Nam, 41 years old. He lives with his wife, but she went to her hometown that night, leaving him alone at home. The first witness was not Nam. It was his neighbor on the next floor, Mrs. Tran the HOA. At 2:12 a.m., Mrs. Ho looked through the window and saw the living room lights at house 27C on. That wasn't unusual. What Mrs. Ho said later was, there was a shadow passing by the curtains. But I remember clearly, Nam was standing on the balcony smoking. 2:13 a.m., the camera in the living room recorded a clear image. Nam was standing close to the balcony glass door on the opposite wall. There was a shadow. That shadow was taller than him and slightly hunched shoulders. The only light in the room was a round LED bulb mounted on the ceiling. Right in the middle of the room, a fixed light source. When Nam stepped to the left, his shadow moved in the same direction, but the other shadow, slower by half a beat. 2:14 a.m., Nam turned to look at the wall. The shadow remained still. He thought it was due to two intersecting light sources. Maybe the hallway light was shining in. He opened the door. The hallway was dark. There was no additional light source. 2:16 a.m. Nam turned off the living room lights. The room plunged into complete darkness. In the infrared camera footage, the shadow was still there. Indistinct. But still there. A black patch standing against the wall, not belonging to any object in the room. 3:17. Nam switched the light back on. The shadow disappeared. He checked the video again the next morning at 9:42 a.m. In the 2:13 a.m. recording, there was a recurring detail before the shadow appeared. The ceiling light flickered 3 times. It flickered very quickly, only 0.3 seconds each time. He REWOUND. It was the same every time. 3 flickers. Then the shadow appeared. Nam called an electrician to check it at 2:05 p.m. The electrician's name was Pham Van Tin. Tin said the electrical system was stable. There were no signs of a short circuit. The LED bulb was new. There was no flickering. But that night, at 10:58 p.m., the light flickered again 3 times. Nam stood in the middle of the room. On the wall behind him, 2 shadows appeared. One his, one someone else's. Nam raised his right hand. His shadow raised its own. The other shadow raised its left hand. Not in sync. Not in the same direction. 3:17 a.m., December 4th. The camera recorded a similar phenomenon. This time, Nam experimented. He placed a wooden chair in the middle of the room. The light shone directly down. The chair cast a clear shadow, but the other shadow was not obscured. It overlapped the chair's shadow. As if it were unaffected by the light source. 3:21. Nam moved closer to the wall. The shadow did not change shape. It did not stretch. It did not shrink. It remained the same size. Like it wasn't created by that light. Nam reached out and touched the wall. His shadow merged with the other shadow for a second. Then they separated. The camera recorded a faint sound in that moment. Like breathing. Very soft. Nam insisted he heard nothing at the time. Only The camera recorded it December 6th. Nam invited a friend, a lighting designer like Kwang Wee, to check. Measured the beam angle, calculated the ceiling height. Try a different LED bulb. The result remained unchanged. 2:13 a.m. The light flickered 3 times. A shadow appeared. HUY stood next to Nam this time. The second shadow wasn't behind Nam. It was behind HUY. HUY turned his head. There was no one behind him, but on the wall there were 2 shadows. 3:17 M. The lights were off. The infrared camera still recorded the dark area. HUY said something in the audio file. This isn't due to the light, Nam asked again. Then what is it? We didn't answer. There was one detail that couldn't be verified. According to the building records, before House 27C was renovated in 2018, the current living room was the bedroom of the previous owner. That owner died at the house in 2016. The time of discovery was 3:17 a.m. There were no records of electrical abnormalities. There were no notes about the lighting phenomenon, only a single line in the local police report. On the west wall, there is an unidentified shadow of unknown origin. That line was later missing from the Ward's archive copy. December 10th, Nam decided to repaint the living room wall a brand new white. That evening, 2:13 a.m., the light flickered 3 times on the newly painted wall. The shadow became clearer. Hunched shoulders, head slightly tilted. Nam stood a meter away from the wall. He didn't move, but the shadow inched closer to him. Very slowly. The distance between the 2 shadows narrowed. 3:17 a.m. The light went out. In the darkness, Nam heard a sound, like the sound of a wooden chair being dragged across the tile floor. The wooden chair was no longer in the room. The next morning, 7:32 a.m. Nam checked the camera again for 46 seconds. From 3 hours 16 minutes and 40 seconds to 3 hours 17 minutes and 26 seconds. The file was completely distorted. Only one frame was clear. 3 hours 17 minutes and 12 seconds. On the wall, there was no shadow of Nam. Only one shadow remained, and it wasn't standing against the wall anymore. It was lying on the floor, facing the camera. Nam has now left house 27C. The house was re-rented after 2 weeks. The new tenants said they had never seen anything unusual, but during a recent electrical maintenance, the electrician discovered something strange. The ceiling LED lights had been removed earlier, but on the living room wall, there was